Hey everyone, and welcome to BPX After Dark, Daytime Extra, broadcast live at Radish Digital, that's digital with a J, a show that breaks down special events, projects, dates, and silos within the BlockPax ecosystem. Now, without further delay, let's get to this broadcast of BPX. Hey everybody, this is Discord user Slappy White with Radish Digital. That's digital with a J. I'm here with Discord user Hawkwin, Subhub Grading, and Minnesota Card Guy. And Minnesota Card Guy, the first thing I have to ask you is I noticed a change in your Discord profile. Do we call you Top Gun or do we call you Minnesota Card Guy? Did you make the change complete? Hawkwin, can you hear me? Oh, guys, I must be having audio issues on my part. Chris, why don't you go ahead? Oh, well, that's right. I got to take you guys off mute. Oh, my.
Mute.
Okay, there we go. I'm like, I'm talking.
Yeah. Sorry. I had you guys on mute for the intro in there. Sometimes when we start off a show, people don't know we're actually going live. So we get it in there. All right. Minnesota Card Guy. Yeah. Tell us about Top Gun versus Minnesota Card Guy. Let's start off with that.
So I've had the Top Gun handle for almost 2 decades. So ever since I got into Ace Combat as a video game to play a lot, and then right on through with being in aviation and all that stuff. So I kept that handle for a long time, and just felt like it was the right time to finally switch that out and go to the Minnesota Card Guy.
Cool. All right. Well, for everybody who's looking at, when you see Minnesota Card Guy, that's the same Top Gun you've seen in recent weeks in Discord. So it's one and the same. All right. So Minnesota Card Guy, we saw you ask both in the, I think it was the Bow Battle Arena Discord, and then you also hopped into Radish and you were talking about wonders. And one of the things, we'll start out with just a quick overview, but Hawkwin, and for Minnesota, let me read actually what he said, is that he said, let's see. When they officially state that, talking about something with the digital side, I will start digging into the digital side of Bow Battle Arena's Home Team Heroes a little bit more, like my curiosity about wonders has been digging. And then he followed it up and he said, was deep in MTG back in the day, and then Keyforge when it came out. The TCG itch is real. So I think one of the things, Hawkwin, is I just want to do the overview for Wonders first, get us up to ask the questions. And I think there was going to be, let's see, there's one other question, Hawkwin, I was going to ask, but for Wonders of the First, Hawkwin, can you explain how this collection, actually, the big question I want to answer up front. He feels like he's 6 months too late. Is he late or is it still early?
It's very early. Play testing is the key, right? Building a deck. So Minnesota Card Guy. If you played Magic, which you said you have,
Yep.
Building a deck and then play testing is extremely important.
Yes.
And then, so that's the beginnings of it, right? You build a deck, you build a couple decks, you get ones that you find fun, then you play test them, and then you go back and retweak them or throw them away and start anew. And then you start finding the ones that you really like and that you start turning into the power decks that you love. And then you start going into competitions. It could be friendly, it could be sanctioned, it could be whatever you want, but you start playing a little more seriously, at least with your buddies, or like I said, at local shops, regionals, it could be anything. But that's usually how it evolves, right, going up.
Yeah.
We're still in the deck building phase.
Okay. I guess the main point comes apart that like if I wanted to dive in to boba, of course it's going to be hard to find product right now on the street.
Mm-hmm.
But you could go out and buy the collector boosters, that kind of thing. I guess I'm just not seeing where it would be to be able to buy boxes for the shattering or anything like that.
I think you want to get in the shattering, but so you I'm glad you answered that, Hawkwin, kind of from a gamer standpoint about why it's not early. But before we get into that, Minnesota, is that first of all, is that the Wonders of the First is that the collection's actually based on how much experience do you have with the blockchain and ETH?
Minimal. I mean, I've done my fair share of the meme coin trading, and I have plenty in Ripple and all that stuff. But I haven't dove into the specific currency for you guys yet.
Okay. Well, so and by the way, Hawkwind likes to always say, when you say you guys, is that we're the official, Radish Digital is the official media partner for BlockPax, which is BlockPax is a company that's involved with Bow Battle Arena, with Wonders, with Home Team Heroes. And we are not the official media partner for Wonders, but for BlockPax. So we do different things. We interview the owner and the different key people. So I just want to make sure that's clear, because sometimes, not you, Minnesota Card Guy, but sometimes people get that issue, and we just don't want to make any. We want to make it clear.
Let's make it really clear. We're not the same company, just FYI.
Yeah.
And so with that said, is going into you're familiar, if you've dealt with meme coins, then you're familiar with the ETH merge. So of course, a lot of people were against Ethereum because of the electricity costs, and as people said, the environmental costs for all this, for this coin that was being used. So they did the Ethereum merge. So it went from proof of work to proof of stake. And when that happened, you had a whole new chain that happened. And so what they ended up doing is they didn't pause the chain while the transactions globally were going on. And everyone around the world was trying to figure out exactly when it was going to happen, because folks wanted to have the last contract on ETH proof of work, and they wanted the first contract on ETH proof of stake. And what this little company, BlockPax in South Carolina, did with not many employees, they modeled on when they thought it was going to happen, when the merge would happen. Not only did they guess that right, they created what they called a rocket launcher. And you seem like the type of person, Minnesota Card Guide, who would like to get into it. There's a white paper that can go into all the detail on this. There's a little company launched it, and they minted a contract, or they created a contract and minted 10,000 NFTs, a digital collection, as the last contract of proof of work. And they pushed everybody out of that contract, because that's the other thing people don't understand, is that the way the blockchain works is a lot of times you share the same block with other contracts. They structured it so they'd be the only ones. That is a digital collection by BlockPax called the Lost Miners. And then they immediately launched the rocket launcher again, and they had the Wonders of the first collection. So they have the first contract with 10,000 minted NFTs as part of ETH proof of stake. And that is the Wonders of the first. Now, to be absolutely clear, 100% clear, this game has nothing to do with the blockchain. This game will live or die based on whether Brian Tinsman, the famed gamesman, is going to make this work, whether the team that's working on it can create a game that people love and want to collect and want to play. It has nothing to do with the blockchain, but the blockchain aspect of it brings some very interesting things to it. So I just want to, that's kind of where Wonders of the First, actually the genesis came from. But before we kind of go further, and we'll get to the shattering, but did you have any questions about that, Minnesota Card Guy?
Not at this time. I realize I'm gonna have to dive into it a little bit more on my own time to really get a grasp on everything, because it's definitely a lot to take in.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to add to that. It's up to you if you want to dive in or not. That's the beauty of it. If people watching don't care about that aspect, or are too busy or overwhelmed, you don't have to, what Slappy White just said, nobody has to go into that. It's optional. And so if you don't care, don't have time, just don't worry about it at all. You can just do this on the physical side 100% and never have a care in the world.
Gotcha.
Okay. And Hawkwind, that's great. And why don't you take us to the next? So we went a year. So after they minted this, nothing happened for a year. Nothing happened. They just had this contract. They were planning something special. They didn't share it with the community, just said it's going to be something special. And then it came out. And so the basis is that the characters that you see in the existence set, which is going to be the first set that comes out, is that the art proofs, they exist as digital art proofs, and you co-own the IP rights with the company. It doesn't mean you own them. It doesn't mean you can do whatever you want. You can't take, like, I own Dragathar the Destroyer, one of the dragons featured in the existence set. And I can't go ahead and set up Dragathar strip clubs, because it can't be, it's a 4-page kind of standard IP, agreement. You can't go ahead and do something that's detrimental to the brand. But what can I do? I could do lunch boxes. I could set up a Dragathar, chicken finger chain of restaurants. And the thinking goes, what gets people exciting, it's a lot of, I was just commenting the other day in Block Packs, there's a lot of work to this, but in theory, this could be something that it's a great opportunity if you own the art proof. So that's kind of, this is where the digital part ends. All right, now going into the physical, the very first physical that was available before the Kickstarter were these things called Dragon Boxes. And when we went ahead, we had to mint our art proofs, and they were random. We didn't know what they were going to be until they were revealed, but we went ahead, and it was certain conditions of being in the community. You were given an opportunity to mint your art proofs. At that time, you could choose to mint a Dragon box. At the time, it was about $225 in an equivalent, something called BPX. So folks could do that then. We didn't know anything about it. We just knew it was going to be a physical box that's coming. It still isn't here. So that brings us up to the physical world. So now we're starting to get into physical. We're going to leave the digital behind. And so Hawkwind, do you want to take us from there, from digital? The Dragon boxes were the first thing we knew of. And then want to take us into the Kickstarter?
I want to go back to the digital for 1 second. When the art proofs came, there were 10,000 of them. So 10,000 different arts. And all of those represented, oh, hold on 1 second. That was my son coming home. Sorry about that.
He looks pretty green. He looks like a swamp monster, but anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. There's 10,000 different art. And then for the existence set, which is the physical one coming out, there is 407 cards in the set. So a lot of these ones that were arts that were made, they only made so many of them, and they're going to save them for additional sets that are coming out in the future. So like I have 6 of those art proofs, and none of them are in this existence sets coming out. They'll be in future ones. So if you happen to see or hear about art proofs that aren't in the first set, that's because we're reserving them for later sets. So let's push that back, just like you said, Slappy. And now we're on to the physical part. This is going to be the first drop of it, and we're now in the physical world. So what happened is Kickstarter was the means of selling them first, and on Kickstarter you could actually buy different pledge tiers. The pledge tiers would get you bundles of stuff, and essentially what it boiled down to is how many boxes, how many starter decks, and those were done by orbital theme. So it would be Umberthine, Sulfera. There were 6 different ones. So you could choose those and how many you wanted. There was special mats, actually. There was a common mat, but then there was specific to Kickstarter only, like a mythic mat, a legendary mat, epic mat, uncommon mat, rare mat. And you get those from, again, the pledge bundles. And then there was also, well, I think that was
is the Kickstarter still running, or is that's finished, correct?
It was 1 month, running for 1 month, and that was it. And it was open to anyone. You could buy whatever you wanted, and then it was closed. So that's over. And now we're fulfilled. That will be fulfilled once in early March with the whatever other orders were out there.
And Hawkwind, we don't want to dwell on it, but Minnesota Card Guy's trying to get the history, and we're trying to get him caught up. You got to tell him about the 2 Kickstarters, just so he's not like, wait, they didn't tell me about that. We don't have to dwell on it, but just give him the highlights.
I think that's confusing to people, but I'll just say it.
It's going to be confusing if he finds out about it. Nobody explained it to him.
The original Kickstarter was shut down because some people complained in the community, TCG community, that didn't really like the AI art, which is in and being used as part of the process of the art you see. Every single art was touched by artists, and they did use AI art. There's a lot of purists in the TCG community that don't like that, and so there was definitely attacks that happened, both verbally on some of the YouTube channels and other places, and so they actually put a lot of like attacks in and other things with Kickstarter. And so anyway, there was this thing about
I will say it was a small percentage of people that had a loud voice.
Yeah, very small percentage.
And it not only that, but it also was wasn't it because of the sparks that were supposed to be
Yep.
in the packs? I think that was their legal reason for stopping it, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was I was around. They kept yeah, it was a minor thing that was around. So they shut down the Kickstarter. Then we fixed our block packs. I'm sorry, Wonders of the First fixed the thing around this reward called the Sparks, and then the Kickstarter said you're fine to start up again. So
And
one,
let's be clear, Hawkwood, I'm not sure if you said it, but it was on track to be the biggest North American
Yes.
TCG launch on Kickstarter's history, right?
Mhm.
correct. And it was up for probably, what was it, 5 days? I can't
Yep.
remember really exactly, but it was a short time.
Sounds right.
And then after 2 weeks, it started up again. And it did lose a little bit of momentum, especially for the beginning, first 2 days. And it ended, I think, the second biggest TCG launch or third biggest. And I'm almost positive it was the biggest in North America ever launched. And as you can see on the screen right now, this is actually the Kickstarter. You can actually go to Kickstarter, and even though it's over, you can actually still see what the Kickstarter was if you type in Wonders of the First. And that's what he's seeing right now. It's over, but you can see the history of it. So that's the Kickstarter part.
Thanks, Chris.
What else would you like to know? By the
So-
way, Chris also.
So what would be the way to get that stuff that you can see on the Kickstarter? How would somebody that didn't know about the game, didn't anything about the Kickstarter, never had the opportunity to back it, be able to get any of that product or invest into it?
As of right now, it's secondary market.
Okay.
And again, nothing so far has gone out except for this small pre-release. It was called the Slab pre-release promotion, which is still going on. And that is where there's a special 24 of every card made, and Wonders of the First company took all 24 of those and sent them to Tag the Grading Company, TAG. And they got all 24 of every card graded, and then they put them up for sale on their website. And there's still like a little over 1,000 left for sale. And
They
you
sell
can go
them in packs. So you open the pack and it reveals whatever card you get. It's kind
and
of
there
cool.
they are on screen. And that's a token representation of it. So it's a token on their own platform, marketplace platform. And then sometime in February, you have the option of actually redeeming that for a nominal shipping charge, I think. And then they will ship you the physical card,
Unless you're a geek, and then there's no charge.
which we won't get into right now.
Right. We won't get into at this time, but just we want to be factual. Yeah.
So anybody who wants a card, actually pre-release, could actually get those cards. They're for sale. There's over 1,000 left. They go for 145.
Yeah, 145.
Yep, and they're also being sold on the secondary market, and some are cheaper than 145 because they're commons and maybe a grading of an 8 or 8.5 out of 10 scale, and those can be bought on Wonders of the First marketplace or Blockpack's marketplace.
And
which
let's
is
be
a
clear
class-
about this. This collection is 9,624 cards. So when we talk about this 24 of each of the existence, we're talking about there's a collection that's less than, and Jeff loves those 10,000 numbers. This collection is less than 10,000, and it is truly the first collection of Wonders of the First. Before the Dragon boxes, before the Kickstarter, this is the first collection, and it's less than 10,000, and it's only 24 of each, all done through Tag. And you can go ahead and look. There's people selling, not looking where it is on the tag grading system. You can go in there and look at cards that are at the top, possibly the highest graded card, and they're not paying attention when they're selling it. So you always want to look at that when you're on the marketplace, which was just listed up here.
All right, where do you want to go next? Like, what questions do you have?
So the shattering is coming up. I saw that as an event to go to. So the only no random person will be able to go is what I guess I'm getting at, because I don't have any of these boxes or serialized boxes or regular boxes that have been paid for already. From the information I've seen online, it's literally only for anybody who had that product paid for it, backed it, and that's like the release party for it.
Yes, but I would say that there's going to be secondary market most likely at the actual show, and you can also set it up with people beforehand to buy some boxes or starter decks beforehand and meet up with them there. Remember, a lot of people are talking about these serialized boxes called Dragon boxes and numbered boxes. Then there's the Kickstarter boxes. The Kickstarter boxes, for instance, I bought a lot of them. I'm willing to sell some of those to people because I personally bought a bunch, and so did a lot of other people. These special Dragon boxes and serialized boxes I want to keep, but I'm willing to give up a bunch of the other boxes for sale. So you will see those for sale, I'm sure. And you can set up with opening those up. If I went to, I might go or I might not, but if I go to the Shattering event, when I open up packs, I'm going to give away a bunch to people to play because I want people to play and have fun. So I'll give all these commons and like all these paper cards, because there's going to be paper cards, foil cards, these really rare cards, but I'm going to be giving away a bunch of cards that are paper just so people can play. That's me. Subhub, how about your thoughts on that?
I agree with that. I think the more people that play, the better it is for the product, and getting everyone involved. The people that don't have money or weren't able to get boxes, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. So it's always scary going to an event when you don't have something guaranteed. I know that they're going to be opening packs though and having some extra things there. You're not guaranteed because you didn't pre-buy, but I will say that the community is the best community ever. You can talk to people beforehand, maybe pre-purchase on the secondary, or talk to people to buy it. And when you go there, I don't see how people wouldn't just give up cards to be able to play with you. And just paper cards are the ones that like Magic, you've played it before. Paper cards are going to be all over the place because packs are going to be ripped over and over. Remember, this is also a collector's. This is for collectors too. So there's a lot of finishes, foil finishes, and different types and different full art
cards. Right.
Yeah.
Serialized cards and different rarities. So
ones of ones.
Mm-hmm. Who's that looking at the Dragon boxes and the? That's what I think Minnesota should be targeting.
Yeah,
and it depends on budgets.
Minnesota, is that your son or daughter?
Yeah, that's my son, my youngest. He's he just turned 3 on the 1st of January.
Congratulations!
Aww.
Great age. Great age.
And then his older brother is 4. He turns 5 in April.
Nice.
That's great.
Oh, that's great.
Keep them away from those cards right now. Let them around the cards in a couple of years.
Oh, they are notorious for stealing the hot dog cards. So I have a collection of them to just hand to them that I'm not worried about.
That's awesome.
So
that's funny.
Yeah, they're into that, and they love ripping open Pokemon packs.
That's great.
They're very hard-handed on them.
Oh yeah.
You mean these kind of Pokemon packs?
Oh yeah, those are sold out everywhere up here. There's no getting one of those out here.
Not everywhere.
Yeah, Chris, Hawkwind, tell them what happened when you were out with Griff for 5 hours of errands this past weekend.
You wanted to go to figurine, like action figure store after action figure store, and in one of them, the dude had like 9 boxes of these Pokemon that just dropped, and they sold them for $69. And so we bought a bunch.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think the lowest price I'm seeing out here is about $200.
Yeah, so we were pretty lucky.
Right.
Whoa.
Well, and turning back as Minnesota, I know you had your 3-year-old there, but I think Subba was talking about if you're a collector of sets, there can only be 93 sets where you have one of each of these serialized boxes. The Dragon box you saw before, the green one, that's the most common one. There's just about 3,000 of them. And then these are all of 99, except for the Crestwing, the eagle with the crown, that's of 93. So if you were to have a complete box set, which would be a Dragon box, a Crestwing, and then one of the 99s, there can only be 93 total sets, total maximum. And that's sealed right now. But of course, some people are going to rip. Some people have one of these special boxes. So the amount, I imagine after the shattering, I would think that we're not going to have more than 20 sets of these, if that. What do you guys
Really?
think?
You think that many people are going to open those?
I don't think there's enough. I actually, there's enough people who have one or two. And remember, every time somebody holds one Umbrathane, then that's one set that can't be made.
Can't be made. Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, I do. I think I'm going to go through, and what's nice about this Minnesota Card Guide, this is how our community started, was on the blockchain. So we can go in, and I haven't done it. I've asked the community to tell me who has it, and we've got a number of people, and we created a page at radishdigital.com/WOTF, Wonders of the First. But I'm going to put a Hall of Fame up there for the people who actually have it. I know Zarek, I think, is planning on ripping one of his sets. But yeah,
So, oh, sorry. I was just gonna say, when you guys got minted these, I wasn't here for this. So like when you guys minted these, was it you might get a out of 99, or you might get out of 2099? Okay. Okay.
Yep,
See,
it was
so for
phenomenal.
me coming in late, these boxes are not even on my, like, I don't even try to get these boxes. I only go for the Dragon boxes just because of they're the same contents.
right.
And I don't want to save a box. I know there is a collectability factor to that, and there are people, especially if you have the set or whatever, you want to display it, this might be a box that you're after. For me, that's
it's
not
just
my...
the box art. Okay, so the box art's
Yeah.
actually the serialized part that's collectible. Okay.
Yes.
Let me explain that real quick. So actually the box, can you click on one so we get a bigger picture, Slappy?
Sure.
So on the left, you'll see, click on it one more time. So you see the actual box art. So in the corner, let's say the upper right corner, there'll actually be a seal there that's holographic. That'll actually say the exact number of what that box is, like 51. You picked the wrong one. Can you get a serialized box? Not a Dragon.
You said I picked the wrong one. This is actually one of the 99s, Chris.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah.
It will look something like this, right?
Yep, right there, if you can see it. Let's put him up on the big screen. So right there, that's what it'll look like, actually. And it'll say like 3 of 99 out of 99. That's what they mean by serialized boxes.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I saw those on those boxes when I bought a couple of those at the store.
Yep. So that means that if you really care about the serialized, you wouldn't open them. Otherwise, why wouldn't you get a Dragon? Unless you like the art, of course. But you're paying a premium then. So the premium is to keep them sealed, is what really people are paying for. But I will say this, and I think it's really good for you and others to understand that are newer Minnesota guy, is that these are on the blockchain right now, but they are going to be migrated relatively soon as an option to be on the marketplace, the closed marketplace within Wonders of the First and block packs. So you can actually just treat it in a simple platform that's going to be extremely easy within the ecosystem of Wonders of the First.
Which you would use miles. You would use miles to purchase.
Yeah.
Instead of ETH or whatever. So it's
so
very
easy.
Convenient. Yeah.
So convenient. Easy. So I just want to mention that you don't have to like convert money into cryptocurrency or anything else coming up if you don't want to.
I will say, since he's done meme coins, is that Minnesota Card Guide, there's actually a great opportunity right now for somebody who's done it before and we could help you, is to go ahead and actually buy BPX because it's at a low price right now. Well, what some of us consider it to be. This isn't financial advice, but some of us consider it. And if you're going to buy something right away, it's worth it for you to go in and spend the gas to buy the BPX token if you're going to spend it right away. I will say that.
Well, so what Slappy's trying to say here is that that's what he would do. And he would never advise anyone else to do it, but he would do it because that's what his experience is.
Yeah. So I will say the with this though, SubHub, you said you hadn't gone for it, but you said to Minnesota Card Guide that's what he should go for. Now you said it's the same cards, and
The
you're not going
dragon
for it.
boxes.
If
Yeah.
if money wasn't an option, would you go for a set of these?
If
I'm
money
I'm
wasn't an option,
Yeah.
yeah, sure. If money wasn't an option, sure. But I would not pay double or even 66% more than I would for a regular dragon box.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's generally been going Minnesota Card Guide 2 for 1 is what it's generally traded at to this point. But it's
So
actually they're getting closer now as the dragon prices creep up. You're not seeing those serialized ones. Well, you're not seeing the /99 and Crestwing move up at the 2x rate that it's historically been at.
right, and I think if everything goes the way I foresee it, that the dragon boxes will only go up. I'm sorry, these low numbered serial number boxes will only go up over time as the dragon boxes go up. So if the dragon boxes reach the point of these, then these will start going up as well. And eventually down the road, these may be worth a lot because a box serialized boxes is kind of a newer thing to the I'll say sports card world, but any type of product released cards, they're usually not serial numbered. So this is kind of a newer thing. So it could be a futuristic thing where this could be like something that's totally sought after in the future, and I'm gonna miss out on it.
That's
But
interesting. I still think in the beginning it'll be chase driven.
you think so?
That's all. Yep. Because if there's an Emma, if there's a first, and the
Yeah.
101 hasn't been gotten yet, it's the highest chances in these boxes by far.
Well, dragon boxes as well, right?
Right, right, right.
It,
But I'm saying if dragon boxes have been bought out for the most part, and then these are you see more on the market of these, even if they're higher. Well, anyway, what you were going to say something, Minnesota guy, and I'm sorry, I think we talked over you.
yeah, sorry.
It's all right. I'm glad that was explained though, because coming from sports cards and that kind of thing, the way I was looking at the different boxes and whatnot was increase in your possible hits, or it being more towards that particular orbital or that kind of thing of what's inside that box. Not they're all the
Oh,
same content. It's just the box art that's
gotcha.
different and serialized. So that because I buy jumbos for the most part because I know they get the higher hit rates, all that stuff.
Yep.
And then I bought lots of collector boosters because I wanted the exclusives that are only in there. So knowing that they all have the same contents and it's just the box art, maybe at a later date I'll dip into collecting the boxes, but having the cards and getting them graded and that kind of thing and playing the game is more my thing.
So
That's
Minnesota
great.
card guy, sorry, Hawkwind. I just don't want to forget this. Yeah, really want to tell him this because I think it's real important. We kind of have the same kind of mindset when it comes to collecting. So on the dragon boxes, I think it's real important that you get some of those. They're going to be 4 times better than opening a regular hobby box that you would get at a hobby shop. If you're looking for the good stuff like foils and all the good inserts, like these dragon boxes are going to be a way better deal. So you'd basically have to buy 6, I think it's no, 4 hobby boxes to get the contents that you would rarity wise, not just paper cards, but rarity wise, like the foils in one dragon box. So if you
Well,
take
that
that,
makes that a no-brainer then.
yeah, and if you take that math, I think the hobby boxes are like 150 a piece at the hobby stores to start. They might go up. The dragon boxes are selling right now, I think, for like 480. So you're saving 120 bucks right there, and you're having better chances at getting stuff. So I think
Oh,
it's a no-brainer.
that brings up a really quick, small point. You might find some of these boxes in regular boxes at hobby stores, but that's if there some hobby stores bought off Kickstarter, just so you know, and they might then sell in there. their store, just so you're aware. So it could seem like there is some in hobby stores, but that's how they got it. That's all.
Okay. Good point.
Well, it's
I
been. Sorry,
I
go
have
ahead.
the Minnesota card guy. What is that light? Is there a strobe light like a disco ball in your room? Oh, it's a keyboard, and it's flashing on your cards. Sweet.
Minnesota card guy. It's been a half an hour, and I try for these. I'm trying to keep them closer to half an hour, but we want to get your questions answered. And so I think this all kind of kicked off with the shattering and whether you should go. If you have the time to go, and you have the resources to go, I would say it's definitely worth it for you to go there. The connections you can make, as Hawkwind talked about, the type of community it is. Because one of the things Subhub's talking about what he collects, right? And so much of this is traded off market. We will go ahead and we will PayPal and we'll send it over to each other. So, and the other thing you'll say is if you go there and let people know you want a Dragon box, there will be people at the shattering who probably are going there wanting to just sell some of their Dragon boxes for cash to someone else. Somebody will pay cash and they'll give it right there. And I don't mean it to come across as like, hey, you'll get a good deal. It's not that type of community. It's the type of thing like you're somebody new. They see you in Bow Battle Arena. They see like what a good community member. They want you to be in the community. So that's more the reason why somebody would work out a deal with you. I always tell new good people that you let people know you love the community. You're looking in all the different, we call them silos. Bow Battle Arena is a silo. Wonders of the First is a silo. We talk about the different silos. And when we see people coming in one and going to somewhere else, people want to help you. They want to do something to help you get into the other silos. So I would just say, if this is, and there's nothing wrong with it. If, I mean, you have a young family, is like, if this is just a passing kind of community, you wouldn't have to do it. But if you like Bow Battle Arena, if Wonders really interests you and you're going to invest in this community, either money or time, I would go to the Shattering, because the same people in a lot of the people in the Bow Battle Arena are also in the Wonders community. You're going to see a lot of spillover there. Now, the one thing to keep in mind is there's a kind of a foundation for the Wonders community. You mentioned your background in TCGs. I will just let you know, for many of us, our background is not in TCGs. Hawkwind, very much so. He is absolutely a TCG. Me, no. I'm a collector, but I have played the game. I enjoy the game. So just to warn you, if you go to the Shattering, I think the people who are going to go, it's going to be interesting because we do have those card people who don't know anything else about block packs. They will show up, and you're going to have a group of people who just, every time block packs puts anything out, we believe in it, we invest in it, we buy it. And there's going to be a lot of those people. So just be warned when you show up. Don't expect it to be a traditional CCG, Bloxicon, WondersCon.
No, I understand that. And being the TCG side is what I enjoy mostly. And then, add in the sports card aspect to it for this. And then I actually loved the art on Wonders. That's what drew me in more than anything.
Yep.
I don't know why anybody would hate on that, but that's me. That's
I know.
my choice. I plan on putting out a ton of gameplay footage. I've already been recording a bunch of different gameplay with Boba with a 3-camera setup and doing it like a World Series of Poker kind of style.
Sweet.
So people could see it that way rather than just on Discord or that kind of thing, and see what people think of that. And then eventually Wonders, because I think I will go to the Shattering and see how many Dragon boxes I can pick up from people.
Speaking of that, Hawkwind, if he buys a Dragon box now on OpenSea, are those going to be available to open at the Shattering?
I actually don't know about that.
I heard a rumor that they might be. So
I heard a rumor too, but I don't know for sure.
okay.
But you should be able to. That's one of the beauties of Discord. Go into the Wonders Discord and just type in search and try a different couple ways, and you should pop up any conversations around it. That's what I do all the time to see.
Well, and I assume because the backer kit address locking as of January 31st. So I have not done that. I am bad about that. But when you sub up, have you done it?
Mine was already. I checked it to make sure it was okay, and it was good.
But when you go in there, does it ask if you're at the Shattering?
No.
Because of course, right? That's if you want to have product there instead of shipped to you.
Correct.
Yeah, and
it
it
was two
wasn't there in that.
different
Okay.
questions they had in their form of how many boxes you wanted there, and then how many serialized boxes you wanted there. And I'm like, I don't know, I haven't bought any boxes.
Oh, so maybe that answers the question right there. Then.
Yeah.
Where did you see it, Minnesota?
It's in the form, the RSVP form
Oh,
that
okay.
they have on there.
So
Yeah,
it's
nice.
like question 4 and 5.
So if you bought Dragon boxes right now, the serialized ones out of 2,099 or whatever, you could actually have those sent there and open them there. So that would be great. So at least you know you have some product to open.
Yeah. Well, I think I have some stuff to buy.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. And any final questions, Minnesota? And then I'll go to you, Sub and Hawk, for any final words.
No, nothing off the top of my head.
All right. Well, and I was looking, by the way, just now when you said who wouldn't love this artwork, I jumped back into the Kickstarter and I was trying to look for some of the comments. I'm going to try to find them. And actually, I got to think of something fun to do at the Shattering is like maybe print out on big poster boards, like some of the most hateful talk, like just so we can laugh about it. Oh my gosh, Minnesota, you won't believe the hate that came out. All right. Subhub, any final words?
No, I have nothing.
Hey, thanks so much, Subhub, for hopping on. For everybody who doesn't know, Subhub grading, he preps your card before you submit it. I know Subhub doesn't. I'm more shameless than he is. I like to promote it, which is he'll take your card, he'll tell you whether it's worth submitting to the graders. He'll go ahead and package it and submit it with your other cards. He'll also tell you whether it's worth it to send it in. He also will prep the card for you. So make sure you check that out. Subhub has his own Discord, and he's also a great community member. Just had his first Bow Battle Arena tournament. So such a great community member, Subhub. And thank you for joining us and helping and keeping Hawkwin and I honest. All right, Hawkwin, any final words from you?
Just that Minnesota card guy and Wonders. I don't know if you've seen it, but there is some people actually playing games within the Discord. There's a tabletop game simulator where they play games, and there are some people actually playing just with their webcams and playing games. So there is stuff going on, and there are also people putting decks together and talking about it and stuff. I think one of the big things that is going to be really interesting will be synergies and also manipulating the graveyard, and then themed decks will be something that will come out of it. So I would really start working on that stuff. Also, if you have more questions, we'd love to do this kind of format from you or anyone else watching this to be able to bring up questions. It's a lot of information in the beginning. Once this starts getting out, we get a rhythm going with the product, and a lot of the local game stores and hobby shops playing it, and more regional stuff, it'll get more of a flow. But in the beginning, it's the Wild West. The Wild West will definitely have the most opportunities. So jump on the bandwagon, because now's the time. And if you want to get something, you want to be in the beginning, you want to look back in history, you want to have the best time to be able to make a little bit of money or get the stuff that no one else can get 2 months, 3 months, 5 years from now, now's the time.
All right. Well, along those lines, we started out with the question, am I too late? And I think, as Hawkwin was just saying, it's still early. So you definitely, whether it's Minnesota Card Guide or anyone else who's watching, and also just a reminder to catch Around the Block, which is a weekly newscast we do of all the silos and block packs, so you can learn more about Wonders of the First, Bow Battle Arena, and everything else going on in block packs. That premieres every Tuesday with a new episode. Tomorrow we're going to drop a new show with updates, and you can catch updates on the Wonders as well. All right, this is Discord user Slappy White. I want to thank Subhub Grading and Hawkwin for coming on, for being our subject matter experts on Wonders of the First. Disappointed Loco, but he's a family man, couldn't get away. And thank you, Minnesota Card Guy, for giving us some time to answer those questions, which they're definitely helpful for other people. So thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
Peace out.
BPX
Goodbye, guys.
Daytime Extra, broadcast live at Radish Digital. All right, take care, everyone.